Okay, journal number 7. So this is the most recent one. I feel like for my pantomime, when I got onto in front of others, I kind of got really nervous. I was very stiff. I was like a robot. I was like, I didn't even make the sound effects, even though I know later on you were like, you don't really need to add sound effects, they just make it sound silly. And I'm like, hey! And then when I got my grade for the pantomime summary, I didn't realize, because the description doesn't really have it, I didn't realize that we were supposed to make like I'm gonna walk into my bathroom, I'm gonna reach for my toothbrush, I'm gonna toothpaste, I'm gonna put it on my thing, and then I'm gonna brush my teeth, and when I'm brushing my teeth, my cat's gonna come up, and I'm gonna resubmit it to write it like that. But I didn't know that. Me and Gil were sitting, and I was like, oh, what did you get? And I was like, I got a 3. And he was like, I got a 5. And I was like, what? But I did not know that. I don't. Did the pantomimes themselves get graded? I don't know. It probably would have been better if I explained what was going on. I don't know if you were gonna read them before we did them, but yeah, mine was just that I was walking into my bathroom. I was gonna brush my teeth, like I normally do. I didn't. I was getting criticized because you were like, you guys only brush the outside, and I'm like, I brush the inside, and I like brush my tongue, but I didn't realize I had to show everyone my tongue like ah. I walked up and I was trying to make it like, oh, my toothpaste doesn't want to come out. I did not leave the water running. I did not leave the water running. So GG to me for that. Ooh, okay, I really liked some of the other people's pantomimes. I really liked Gil. I know you were telling him that he didn't wash his ass, but I trust me, Professor, from my where I was sitting, I saw Gil dig up in his cheeks. All right, I saw him clean his butt crack, and there were some where I'm like, okay. I get that, like the bad one. I think I forgot his name. Sorry, I forgot his name. One of my classmates did like where he was laying in bed, he got out, and I was like, wait, how's he gonna do that? Cause his bed's gonna rise. Like I already noticed you were like pointing out the non-realistic bits where it's like, oh, you're in your car, but you're not really like, or you forgot to turn the water off, and da 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 da. So I was like, oh, he's about to like make his bed rise because why is he laying flat on the ground? I was gonna be like, oh, my bed's like that too. Like basically lay on the floor because my mattress is like 2 inches off the ground. Like, I was like, oh, he's just gonna roll out of bed just like I would. So I thought that was what it was, and then when his bed rolls, I was like, no. But yeah, I liked Gil's. I think his name's Bilal. I think he's the one who did like eating late at night and getting caught. That one was funny. I thought I really liked that one. Who else am I thinking about? Um, I think it was Malachi. Malachi did like he was making I think a tea or coffee or a smoothie. I forgot what he made, but he was making something. And I remember being like, wait a minute. Aside from the fact that you pointed out, like, oh, you could have done it, like, flipped around so the audience sees you more than they see your back. When I tell you, like, I was trying to keep note where he was leaving things, the things, right, quote unquote. Where he was leaving them, he kept going back to the same spot. So I was like, wait, he was living in the same spot. Like it wasn't like he goes like I'm gonna put this cup right here, and then comes back and he goes I'm gonna grab my cup that's over here. No, he would literally leave his cup, go do something like across the room, come back, and then grab the cup. And I'm like, what? How do you remember where that was? Anyways, so I really like those. Gil's Bilal, I think his name, and Malachi's. I remember somebody fed their sheep. I think no, it was their sheep, their dog. Somebody got back from school. I think that might have been Billy. My cat walked in, sorry. I think, what's his name? The dude with glasses and curly hair. A lot of people have glasses in that class. I don't want to say Juan because it's probably not that. Whatever that guy's name is, he like sits kind of like behind in the corner this way. I know he sits over here sometimes, but he's starting to sit at the front. He did like a few words in his, and that's when everyone was like, "Oh, we can say a couple words." I remember he said something about his mom. He yelled at his mom like, "What, mom?" or like something like that. I think pantomimes are important because it kind of makes us practice like imagining things, right? We are trying to portray that things are real. We don't have any props. Honestly, real actors will have props. Like rather than pretend like you're on your phone doing that, somebody's actually gonna have a phone when they're up on like acting, right? Makes us practice again, separating ourselves and the scene. When you're acting, you're trying to make things look real, and this really like tested us because we don't have no props, we don't have nothing. Maybe like memorization as well. Like we have to memorize that lines, and this is probably different. But we also have to memorize where we leave things, and probably when we're on a stage, it'll probably be easy for us to be like nervous and then forget where we leave our props or something like that. What do you think it's important? So yeah, so just the practicing making things look real despite basically not we're having anything to work with. So it really puts into practice how well we can act without anything, like using our imagination. How much? Pounding practice. Immediately once you were like, oh, you guys have to do pantomime, I was thinking like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? And I was like, oh, I'm gonna brush my teeth. I wanted to do coffee, but I'm like, I don't really think I can. My coffee's all in one spot, so all I would have done would be like, go here, turn on the water, and as I'm turning on the water, I was gonna grab my cup, put coffee, sugar, creamer. Oh, I don't scratch that. I don't really like creamer. I just like using lactose-free milk, and then I'll go into the fridge, grab lactose-free milk, pour it in, pour it out, get the water before it boils, and then like kind of pour some, and then like feel the water, and then be like, it's fine, whatever, and dump it, and then just mix it and drink. And I'm like, mine was I thought mine was gonna be better, but I got nervous again. I was kind of stiff. Like I did a little cow meow, cat meow for my cats because sometimes my cats follow me into the bathroom. How did you do in your Shakespeare line? The to me fair friend, you will never be old one. But I did have the one where it's like nothing is either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. I might have said it wrong, and you're probably like, you're wrong through the screen. But somebody did it before me, and I was scared that when I went up, you were gonna make me say it multiple times. So I was like, So I said mine. They were like, say it to your grandpa, and I was like, my grandpa. My grandpa's dead, but okay. I didn't really know how to say it because I'm like, how am I gonna call my grandpa my friend? First of all, para mí, amigo, nunca serás viejo. Like, am I supposed to put my hand on his shoulder? What? I don't know. I would say I don't know. Say it like I mean it. I remember you were telling that to everyone. You're like, say it like you mean it. Which planning practice did you put to making me perfect? I forgot to say that. So I went home and I practiced for my pantomime. Tried over and over and over, but again, when I got on stage, it was there where I was like nervous. I feel like next time when I'm practicing for stuff, I need to say it in front of other people. Like I need to practice in front of more people because I only ever practice in front of myself and like my sister, and that's it. How did you learn from my feedback? I learned that I don't know how to talk to old people. What do you need to do to better your monologue? I am a little nervous because I'm like for my monologue, I've memorized a little bit of mine, a little bit, just like the starting half. I wanted those moments, few and far between as they were. I wanted whatever time and affection you could give me, no matter what it cost me. It felt like you found comfort in me, and maybe I wasn't your first choice, but I was glad I was somewhere on the list. That I memorized that. Maybe it was a little wrong because I did. I remember you told us to type it out. You were like, "Oh, type it out, say it, mutter it. Doesn't matter. Just try to memorize something." Also, the what did you call it? Like the punch part of the words. Like what words do you need to point out? I feel kind of awkward. I remember when you were telling me like, "Oh, which one do you think it is?" I was like, I'm not sure. Like this one kind of feels like some students were like, "Oh, you should do this one, or you should say this," but I was like, I don't really know if that word works. That was like I wanted those moments. You can't really say I because you said no pronouns. I wanted those were pronouns as well as you said. I wanted those moments. Trying to figure out how to make it sound natural and not like I know you said don't overdo it, don't throw it in their face, but just make it subtle. I think for to better my monologue, I need to practice, practice, practice. Because I'm scared that you're gonna do like you did with those and you're gonna put it else in front of everyone. You're gonna be like, that's wrong. And I'm gonna be thrown off my groove, you know? But yeah.